Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the story on mapo tofu. I was initially going to include this story in the second episode of my tofu series, but I thought about it, it's going to be too long for that video, so I have decided to create a separate video to tell the story on mapo tofu. If you have missed the second episode of my tofu series, you can find the link below the description of this video or on the top right of the video. I find the story of mapo tofu so interesting and fascinating if you don't already know, but if you are interested to know the story of mapo tofu, stick around and continue watching. Mapo tofu is a very simple dish to make in your own kitchen, and yet it is one of the most popular and most common Sichuan dish inside and outside of China. This makes it so interesting for me that I have to find out why mapo tofu is so popular among all the Chinese worldwide, and how and when it existed. So I did a fair bit of research on the internet and read several articles. They all share almost the same story with a slight variation, as it should, because people doesn't like to be seen as they are copying from somebody else's article. So basically the story is that mapo tofu existed in 1862 at a small Chinese restaurant in Chengdu, Sichuan province. It was started by a husband and wife team. The wife has scars and marks on her face, but she was extremely clever in making her tofu. She made very good delicious tofu dishes, simple and also cheap for her customers. Most of the people that came to her restaurants, according to some of the articles that I have read, brought their own meat for her to include in her tofu dish. So I assume that when it first started at the restaurant, it was a vegetarian dish. Now, because of her popularity among the customers and word got around, the other tofu makers and businesses got a bit envious of her popularity. Cunningly and crudely, they nicknamed her mapo. Ma in Chinese means pock mark, face, and po means old woman. So basically she was given the nickname as an old woman with pock mark face. It's not very flattering, but she managed to ignore them according to articles that I have read and just focus on what she does best, or what she did best, which was to make delicious tofu dishes for her customers. So that is one story. The other story which I've heard was from my hairstylist, Tony. He comes from Hong Kong. He told me that mapo tofu existed long before that story of the husband and wife team in 1862. He believed mapo tofu was consumed by poor families long time ago, much earlier than 1862. Basically, for older people who have lost their sensation to taste, and also they have lost the ability to chew hard food. So the poor people basically make their own tofu from the grains from their own farmland, and also using the grains and the fibers they make imitation meat or mock meat, vegetarians. So the dish itself is a vegetarian dish in those olden days. I believe the second story told by Tony could hold some truth in it, because I look up Wikipedia. Wikipedia basically says that mapo tofu existed as early as 1254, predated the 1862, which was recorded by a lot of articles and food bloggers. I believe there are truths in both of them. I believe that The articles which is most common in 1862 is when mapo tofu became most famous at that time. But I also believe Wikipedia, if Wikipedia is correct in documenting mapo tofu existed as early as 1254, is that the story told by my hairstylist is true as well. But what I really wanted to know about mapo tofu is that the original version of mapo tofu is a vegetarian dish. It's not a meat dish. That's what I wanted to know. If you have any story on mapo tofu, please do comment below my video and share your story, because I find mapo tofu is such a fascinating dish to share and also to share the story. So until next time, thanks for watching. Ciao.